So hello students and welcome back all to another video tutorial at Genome Biotech. In this particular lecture, we would be talking about the mobile genetic element. The mobile genetic elements which are also referred to as the moderately repetitive DNA sequences. Okay, so what are these mobile genetic elements? What are these moderately repetitive DNA sequences and how these moderately repetitive DNA sequences are present in a cell? क्या होते हैं mobile genetic element? क्या होते हैं ये moderately repetitive DNA sequences that we will have to look here. So mobile genetic element or mobile DNA sequences are moderately repeated DNA sequences that are interspersed throughout the entire genome. And the process by virtue of which they are going to move from one location in the genome to another is referred to as transposition. So the process that is involved in their movement is referred to as transposition. And mobile genetic elements are the elements that have the ability to move from one location within the genome to another location. Okay, so those are referred to as mobile genetic element. So mobile genetic elements could be known as transposons. Okay, so these can be referred to as transposon. Okay, so mobile genetic elements could be referred to as transposons. You look here, this is a transposon. Okay, this is a retrotransposon. Both of these are mobile genetic element. They are also referred to as the selfish DNA. They are also referred to as the selfish DNA. Why they are called as the selfish DNA? Because they will propagate within the genotype without contributing anything into the phenotype. That is why they are also referred to as selfish DNA. These transposons transposons are also referred to as selfish DNA sequences, as these propagate within the genotype without contributing anything in the phenotype. In the phenotype. That is why they are referred to as selfish DNA. Okay. So they never contribute anything into the phenotype and always propagate within the genotype. That is why they are referred to as selfish DNA. Now, there are two different types of mobile genetic element. One is called as transposon, another one is referred to as retrotransposon. Both of these moves by different mechanisms. Transposons moves by a mechanism which is referred to as cut and paste mechanism. What do you mean by cut and paste mechanism? Cut and paste mechanism is a type of mechanism in which the transposon is being cleaved from a particular site and then it is being inserted into a particular site within the target DNA sequence. This is the target DNA sequence. This is the transposon that is present. Now, when transposon is present here, and here is the transposon that is present, this transposon will move to a particular site and then will be inserted at a new location within the genome. Then it is referred to as the mobile genetic element. Okay, it can move from one location to another. In the case of retrotransposons, what is being done? The DNA is being taken, the DNA gets transformed or gets converted into an RNA. Okay, so the DNA has been taken and this DNA gets transformed into an RNA intermediate. This RNA intermediate, which is going to be produced, can be reverse transcribed to form a DNA molecule. Okay, so it could be reverse transcribed. Once it could be reverse transcribed, then it will lead to the formation of a dsDNA molecule. Reverse transcription can take place, and here a double stranded DNA molecule could be produced. This is gsDNA. The double stranded DNA molecule that has been produced will insert itself to a target DNA and then will be inserted to form a transposable mobile genetic sequence. ये चला गया और यहाँ पर जाके insert हो गया. Once it has been inserted, then this has moved from one location to the other. But what happens in the case of retrotransposon is that the promoter region is never copied. Okay, so see, for the transcription of a particular gene, there is a sequence that is present upstream to that particular gene. And this sequence which is present is referred to as the promoter region. This sequence which is present is called as promoter. This sequence which is present is called as promoter. It is this promoter where the RNA polymerase is going to bind. यही वो promoter region है जहां पर RNA polymerase क्या करेगा, bind करेगा. यही वो promoter वो वाला जो region है जहां पर आपका RNA polymerase आके bind करता है. ये गया और ये RNA polymerase यहाँ पर जाके bind कर लेगा. This is where the RNA polymerase should bind. Okay. Okay. And then RNA polymerase is going to transcribe the DNA molecule. It is then going to transcribe the DNA molecule and then going to form the mRNA molecule. Once the mRNA is going to be produced, then the double-stranded DNA is going to be produced. Double-stranded DNA can move to one another location, but the promoter region cannot be copied. So this transposable mobile element becomes defective transposable mobile element. ये क्या बन जाएगा? ये बन जाएगा defective transposable mobile genetic element. Mobile genetic element. ये क्या बन जाता है? This becomes transposable mobile genetic element, which is referred to as defective transposable mobile genetic element. Okay. Any doubt? Any problem? किसी को कोई doubt? किसी को कोई problem है? You can ask me. So this is the effort towards the defective transposable mobile genetic element. So mobile genetic elements can be classified accordingly as transposons and retrotransposons. Now, retrotransposons and transposons are the two mobile genetic elements that you have classified. This method of transposition is referred to as cut and paste method, and this method of transposition is referred to as the copy and paste method. Copy and paste method of transposition. Paste method of transposition. Method of transposition. ये क्या हो जाता है? इसे हम copy and paste method of transposition कह देते हैं. That means the transposition can take place by copy and paste method. Copied and then pasted. Now, there can be other different methods of transposition that can also be present. For example, in this case, the transposition can take place when one DNA is going to be targeted to one DNA strand and another fragment of the DNA could be targeted to another strand of the DNA. देखिए ऐसा नहीं है कि एक ही स्ट्रैंड पे जाएगा, ये दो स्ट्रैंड पे भी जा सकता है. It can also move to two different strands of the DNA molecule. Okay, so I'm just taking two different strands, one here and another here. So this target DNA will move to this parental strand as well as to this parental strand. So it can move to both the strands. Okay. Now, so for having a view of how does the transposition takes place, let us look at the PowerPoint presentation and the animation of this particular lecture. इस lecture के animations को हम देखते हैं. So just deleting all these facts, all these things, you would have noted them down. Now, moving forward. Now, majority of the most mobile elements in the case of bacteria transposes directly as a DNA sequences. So majority of the sequence which are present in the bacteria are DNA sequences. In contrast, most mobile element that are present in the eukaryotes are referred to as retrotransposons. जबकि जो यूकैरियोट्स के अंदर जो मोबाइल जेनेटिक एलिमेंट्स होते हैं, those are referred to as retrotransposons. Both types generally produce short direct repeat at the site where they are going to be inserted. Both of these are going to produce a short direct repeat at the site of insertion, which flanks the mobile genetic element. There's a mobile genetics element sequence which is present, and these sites, these short direct repeats, are going to flank the mobile element. Okay, these are the one that would be flanking the mobile element. As it is going to flank the mobile element, so they will be present at both the sites. ये दोनों sites पे present होता है. This is present at both the sites of the inverted repeat. There are several different types of transposable elements that we are going to talk about: bacterial insertion element, TN10 element, and other different types of transposable elements. But before we move forward, let us have a view of the cut and paste mechanism and the copy and paste mechanism, that how does cut and paste and how does copy and paste actually takes place. कट एंड पेस्ट और कॉपी एंड पेस्ट कैसे होता है, ये हमें यहाँ पर देखना होगा. So just sharing this PowerPoint presentation with you all, and here we are. We are going to talk about
Transposition is a form of genetic.
Just a minute. Are you able to visualize it on your screen or not? Okay, I'm just resuming the share. Okay, no problem. So I'm just resuming a new screen. Now you are able to visualize the same on your screen or not? Hello guys, are you able to now visualize the same on your screen? Okay, so now we are going to start this particular process of transposition. That how does
Transposition.
Now, the computer audio is audible or not, just inform me in the form of a message.
Is a form of genetic recombination that moves defined genetic elements, called transposable elements or transposons, from one DNA site to another. Transposition of DNA sequences can occur by either of two mechanisms: cut and paste transposition or replicative transposition. When you have completed this.
So what do you mean by transposition? Transposition is a process.
Transposition.
So transposition is just a process. It is a process of genetic recombination, which allows the movement of the genetic material called as transposable elements or transposons from one DNA sequence to another. There are two methods of transposition that we are going to discuss. One is called as the cut and paste transposition, the classical method of transposition, and another one is referred to as the copy and paste method of transposition. When you would have completed this exercise, there are the following objectives that have to be seen. Just a second.
Transposition is a form of genetic recombination. When you have completed this exercise, you should understand the cut and paste mechanism of transposition and understand the replicative mechanism of transposition.
Okay, so we will have to understand the cut and paste mechanism of transposition. We must understand the replicative mechanism of transposition, that how does replication takes place.
The recombinases responsible for transposition are usually called transposases. Transposons carry a gene encoding their own transposase. Transposons may carry a few additional genes as well. For example, many bacterial transposons carry genes for antibiotic resistance.
Now see this. Now, transposons consist of, previously, you all students would have been told about this particular phenomena that transposons do not contain any gene. Actually, that is completely wrong. Transposons usually code for one or more gene. The most common gene for which transposon code is referred to as transposase gene. Transposase gene is always being encoded by the transposon, and this transposase gene lead to the formation of a protein that is referred to as transposase protein. Along with the transposase protein, there are other protein coding genes which are also present, and those protein coding genes are the antibiotic resistant genes which are present. So along with the transposase genes, there are other protein coding genes called as antibiotic resistant genes, which are also being associated with the transposons. Okay. So such type of transposons which have other protein coding genes along with the transposase genes are commonly referred to as the complex transposons. These are referred to as the composite these are referred to as the composite transposons or complex transposons. Complex transposons. So these are referred to as composite or complex transposons in nature. Now, moving forward.
The very ends of a transposon's DNA are arranged as inverted repeats. These inverted repeats range from about 25 to a few hundred base pairs and carry the recognition sequences for transposase binding.
Now, the hallmark for the presence of transposons are the short direct repeats which are present towards the end of the transposons. Transposons have a hallmark, and the hallmark is the presence of the short direct repeats. Okay, so that is very, very important. Just put a note here and note this point. Note the presence of short direct repeat, the presence of a short direct repeat is a hallmark for the transposons, is a hallmark for the action of transposons, action of transposons, hallmark for the transposons. Okay, so the presence of this short direct repeat indicate that yes, a transposon is present, and these are the short direct repeat. These are inverted sequences, and these are palindromic sequences. As these are palindromic sequences and they are inverted palindromic sequences, so they can be effectively recognized by the restriction endonuclease enzymes. Inverted repeats, short direct repeats, short direct repeats are present. These short direct repeats are inverted repeats in nature. These are inverted repeats. As these are inverted repeats, so will lead to the formation, so will be recognized by restriction endonuclease, will be recognized by restriction endonuclease. Endonucleases. Cleaved will be recognized by restriction endonuclease, can be effectively cleaved, and aids in transposition. Aids in transposition. Please note down all the points along with me. Transposition. So these inverted repeats are the one that will help in the process of transposition to take place from one location to the other. And where this transposon is going to be transposed, where this transposon is going to move, will depend upon the type of the inverted repeat that are present. So which type of inverted repeat are there? So that will determine. So they will determine that what type of repeat sequences are there. Okay. So if these are their target sites will determine where this DNA is going to move. Okay. Now moving forward, you would have noted all these points. Moving forward.
Simply put, cut and paste transposition involves the excision of a transposon from its initial location in the genome, followed by integration of this excised transposon into a new DNA site. This is a non-replicative mechanism, meaning that the transposon is not copied during the transfer.
Okay, that means the transposon is not being copied. Here, what has taken place? The transposon has moved from cut from one location to the other. So there is no copying of the transposon which has taken place. So such a mechanism is referred to as the conservative mechanism of transposition. Such type of transposition is commonly called as the conservative mechanism of transposition. It is called as conservative mechanism of transposition. Conservative mechanism of transposition. Now, transposition can have conservative mechanism as well as replicative mechanism. So here, the total number of In the case of conservative mechanism of transposition, the number of transposons will remain constant. The number of transposons of will remain constant. Okay, it remains fixed. Then it is referred to as conservative mechanism of transposition. What happens in the case of replicative mechanism of transposition? In the case of replicative mechanism of transposition, the transposons will be moving from one location to the other. Okay, that occurs in the case of simple transposons as well as in the case of retrotransposon. Now, how does replicative mechanism is going to take place? That we have to see. ये तो conservative mechanism है, हम लोग replicative mechanism भी देखेंगे, that how does replicative mechanism of transposition takes place. Okay, so just deleting this out and moving forward.
We will now look at the cut and paste mechanism in more detail. To initiate transposition, transposase subunits bind to the terminal inverted repeats.
Okay, now cut and paste mechanism. Now, what do you mean by cut and paste mechanism? How does cut and paste mechanism actually operate? To initiate the cut and paste mechanism, the transposase subunits are going to bind to the direct repeat sequences. When these transposase subunit binds to the direct repeat sequences, they will induce a cut in the direct repeat sequences. And the transposase subunits are going to move together with each other. Okay, so let us have a view.
Once the transposase subunits recognize these sequences, they bring the two ends together to generate a stable protein DNA complex called a transpososome or synaptic complex. This complex functions to ensure that the DNA cleavage and joining reactions occur simultaneously on both ends of the transposon, and also protects the DNA ends from cellular enzymes during transposition.
Now, what happens in the case of transposition? As the transposition has to take place, the two transposons began to move towards each other. As the two transposons began to move towards each other, so these transposons, when they began to move towards each other, they lead to the formation of a loop-shaped structure. This is the loop-shaped structure molecule which is going to be produced. And this loop-shaped structure which is being produced is referred to as the transposition loop. Okay, so this is the transposition loop which has been produced. Just a second. This is transposition loop. Now, how this loop is going to function? Now, this is the transposition loop which is present. Transposition formation is going to take place. Then it will lead to the formation of a complex, the synaptic complex, and that is referred to as transpososome. So a transpososome is being produced, and this is the synaptic complex that has been produced. Now, the next step is going to take place. The hydrolytic cleavage is going to occur from both the ends, and then it is going to move to another DNA where this DNA sequence will be inserted. And now we have to see how does conservative and replicative transposition takes place. हमें दोनों के बीच में difference भी देखना होगा, that conservative and replicative, how they are different from each other.
Next, the transposon is excised from its initial location in the genome. To accomplish this, each of the transposase subunits nicks one DNA strand, such that the transposon sequence terminates with free 3' hydroxyl groups at each end.
Now, each transposase enzyme cleaves the target DNA in such a manner that an overhanging 3' hydroxy group is being produced. Once an overhanging 3' hydroxy group is being produced, this overhanging 3' hydroxy group will attack the alternate phosphodiester backbones and will break them up. Look here.
To finish the excision reaction, the other DNA strand at each end of the transposon must also be cleaved. Different transposons use different mechanisms to cleave these second DNA strands. For some transposons, an enzyme other than transposase directly cleaves these strands.
Okay, while for others,
For other transposons, the transposase catalyzes attack of the uncut ends of the DNA strands by the 3' hydroxyls directly opposite them on the other strand. This reaction forms DNA hairpin intermediates. The two hairpin ends are subsequently hydrolyzed by the transposase. Some transposons use still other, more complex mechanisms to cleave the other DNA strands.
so there are different type of mechanism that the transposon is going to use in order to cleave the complementary DNA strands with respect to each other. These complementary DNA strands can be effectively broken as a single strand by the help of transposase, ultimately cleaving both the strands of the DNA either with the use of a single enzyme transposase or with the help of other enzymes. Okay, next.
The 3' hydroxyls of the transposon DNA then attack the phosphodiester bonds at the target DNA.
Now, this transposase will find a target DNA molecule. The what would be the target DNA molecule? Now, students might be thinking, might be wondering, what would be the target DNA molecule? So, if you are thinking, what is the target? What or where would be the target DNA molecule? Where will be the insertional site? Insertional site for the transposon. Where would be the insertional site for the transposon? Okay, so every transposon will find its insertional site on the basis of the action of the transposase enzyme. The transposons, the transposons forms finds their site of integration mediated by the transposase enzyme mediated by mediated by the transposase enzyme mediated by the transposase enzyme. The DNA will be inserted only at a site recognized by recognized by the transposase enzyme. Okay, so only when the transposase enzyme is going to recognize a particular site, then only the transposition is going to take place, else not. So the recognition of the site depends upon where the transposase enzyme is going to find it. As a site where the transposase enzyme can cut it will be complementary to the direct repeats which are present, and there it would be this DNA sequence will be integrated. Are you able to understand it or not? If there is any query, you just ask me. If there is any query, you just ask me. ट्रांसपोजेज एंजाइम उस जगह को रिकॉग्नाइज करेगा जहां पर टारगेट डीएनए सीक्वेंस होगा. टारगेट डीएनए सीक्वेंस पे वही डीएनए लगा होगा जो यहां पर भी जुड़ा हुआ है. At the same site, it is going to insert the double-stranded DNA molecule.
This reaction is called DNA strand transfer. The sites of attack on the two target strands are usually separated by 2 to 9 nucleotides. This distance is fixed for each type of transposon.
Okay, so this distance is going to be fixed for each type of transposon in nature. Next.
The gap in the target DNA resulting from the staggered attack on the two strands is then filled in by cellular DNA repair proteins. The 3' hydroxyls of the target strands serve as primers for DNA replication. Filling in these gaps gives rise to DNA duplications that flank the transposon.
Now, another question that might have arisen in your mind, sir, how a double strand break could be repaired? See, double strand break could be repaired very effectively with the help of certain proteins, and those proteins are the Q protein and other different proteins in the case of bacterial cells. But this is a eukaryotic cell. Firstly, if you are considered this to be a bacterial cell, then there would be a protein that will act here, and that protein will be referred to as the Q protein, KU. Q protein. Okay, the protein that is going to act here is referred to as the Q protein. Q protein. Another one is referred to as Q protein. Sorry, it is Q protein, or it is Q protein. This is Q protein. And these Q protein, along with the Y family DNA polymerases, Y family DNA pol is going to interact and going to repair the damage caused. Y family DNA polymerases include the DNA polymerase 4 and DNA polymerase 5. Okay, DNA pol 4, and another one is referred to as DNA pol 5. DNA pol 5. Okay, so this is DNA pol 4 and DNA pol 5, and both these DNA polymerase are going to function. This DNA polymerase 4 is also referred to as UMU D2 DNA polymerase. DNA polymerase. This is how the repair is going to take place. रिपेयर करने के लिए हमारे पास में एक मैकेनिज्म होता है, and that is referred to as the SOS repair mechanism. SOS repair mechanism. Repair mechanism. This is that SOS repair mechanism which operates in the case of bacterial cell. Now, in eukaryotic cell, because transposons can also be present in eukaryotic cell. So in the case of eukaryotic cells, the double-stranded break could be repaired with the help of homologous recombination. Homologous recombination double-strand break repair model. In eukaryote, the break is repaired by, the break in dsDNA, is repaired by double-stranded DNA homologous recombination model. Homologous recombination model. Recombination model. This is the model that is going to be used. Okay, this is the model that is going to be used, and this is how the process is going to occur. And this takes place in eukaryote, and this takes place in the case of prokaryote. In prokaryotes. Any doubt that you have? Anyone has any doubt, please ask me. Hiba, Trishla, Ankit, anyone has any doubt? Shivani is not there. Hello, anyone has any doubt? Please do inform me up. Okay, no doubt at all. Okay, so you can just take a snapshot of this particular picture. We are going to move forward. I'm just going to delete this all. Okay, so I'm going to delete this up. Now moving forward.
These sequences are called target site duplications.
Okay, these sequences causes target site duplication to take place. This is how the target sites are going to be duplicated because of the insertion of the genetic element that has direct repeat at its end. The inverted sequences have been duplicated. This is called as target site duplication. So here the target sites have been duplicated. Next.
The double-stranded breaks at the initial site of the transposon must also be repaired. These breaks can be repaired by homologous recombination or joined directly by the non-homologous end joining pathway.
Okay, so they can be joined with the help of a non-homologous recombination or non-homologous recombination joining pathway. Next.
Some transposons move by a replicative mechanism. Although the outcome is different, the mechanism of strand transfer in replicative transposition is very similar to that of cut and paste transposition. However, the transposon DNA is duplicated during transposition, leading to two copies of the transposon joined to the new and old DNA target sites.
So this is very important. See this. there was a single transposon which was present. Now, if that transposon follows the journal simple cut and paste mechanism of translocation, then it would be chopped off and would be pasted to a new site. This simple mechanism is commonly referred to as the cut and paste mechanism. This is the simplest of all mechanisms that is going we are going to follow. Cut and paste mechanism, just to cut it out and then to paste it up. Simple mechanism. Okay, it has been pasted at the inverted DNA sequences. No problem at all. But here, what is going to happen is that only a single transposon, only a single stranded DNA has been translocated to a new location. See this, this DNA, another copy of the DNA has been translocated from this location to this location. As it has been translocated, then what has happened? It will lead to the formation of a new complementary strand of the DNA molecule at its front. Okay, just deleting all the things that I have just written and moving forward. Now, what is going to happen here is that now here further the exchange of the genetic material can take place in the case of replicative transposition because a new complex genomic sequences have been produced. So have a look here. See this? There are crossing over that are going to take place. As crossing over can take place at the site of homology, and this green color indicates a high rate of homology between the two chromosomal fragments, so they can get exchanged with regard to each other. Look here. See this? The exchange is going on, and this is the DNA that has been exchanged. And original location and the new location. Are you able to understand? This is a replicative transposition. In the case of replicative transposition, one strand of the DNA remains as such, the other strand of the DNA moves to a new location, forms a complementary strand, and then the strands that had moved to the new location forms a complementary strand. Now, crossing over has taken place in between these strands in the following manner. First crossing over and the second crossing over has taken place. These are the two sites, these are the two places where the crossing over has taken place, the first crossing over site and the second crossing over site. Okay, any doubt, any problem? Okay, does it lead to the formation of new complex DNA sequences? Next point.
Just as in cut and paste transposition, replicative transposition begins with the assembly of a transpososome.
As in the case of cut and paste mechanism, replicative transposition also begins with the same mechanism of the transpososome formation. A transpososome is being produced, and this transpososome will facilitate the movement of the transposon from one place to the other. ये इसे एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे transport कर देगा. It would be the one that would be transporting it out from one location to the other. Okay, now how does the translocation is going to take place? So that we have to see. So this is transpososome.
Next, the transposase subunits introduce nicks in the 3' ends of the transposon strands.
This
However,
mechanism is still same in the case of cut and paste mechanism and replicative mechanism. However, what is going to happen now is very important. It will move to another homologous DNA sequence. Only one strand will move to another homologous DNA sequence, whereas the other strand will remain here. Here, what will happen? Both the double-stranded DNA molecules will move to a new site on a homologous DNA molecule. यहाँ पर से एक strand चला जाएगा दूसरे DNA में, और यहां से दोनों स्ट्रैंड ही मूव कर जाएंगे दूसरे टारगेट डीएनए पे.
in contrast to cut and paste transposition, the transposon DNA is not excised from its initial location. As in cut and paste transposition, the 3' hydroxyls of the transposon DNA then attack the phosphodiester bonds at the target DNA. However,
see this. This is the difference that is going to be produced. There was a target DNA molecule shown in blue color in both the mechanisms. In the first mechanism, one strand of the transposase of the transposon moves from its parental location to a new location and will be transposed here. Okay. In the second case, when you talk about cut and paste mechanism, what is going to happen? It has been cut from the previous location and it has been pasted to a new location. This is referred to as cut and paste mechanism. Now, moving forward.
However, the 5' ends of the transposon sequence remain joined to the initial flanking DNA. The replicative transposition intermediate therefore consists of a doubly branched DNA molecule.
Now see this, how the separation is going to take place. This is very simple and this is very complex. Okay, so here, see this, the transposons can also move by replicative mechanisms. One thing that you should remember that would be present in your mind and you're not able to express it is that transposons can be divided into the following types. Zones have been divided or categorized into the following two different types. Which are the two different types in which the transposons have been categorized? One is referred to as simple transposons, another one is referred to as the replicative transposon. The first one is referred to as simple transposons. Simple transposons. And another one is referred to as retrotransposons. Retrotransposons. So one thing that the students began to think is that retrotransposons are always replicative in nature. They will always form new copies, replicative. They are always replicative in nature, whereas simple transposons are always conservative. But here, what we found is that the simple transposons can be conservative as well as replicative. Simple transposons can be both. They can be conservative, they can be replicative. Okay, so they can be conservative or they can be replicative. So these are the simple transposons that are which are present. Please look here. Note it down. This is very important point. Simple transposons conservative भी हो सकते हैं और replicative भी हो सकते हैं. We have seen the simple transposon here it is conservative and here it is replicative. Now moving forward.
The two DNA branches within this intermediate each have the structure of a replication fork. The DNA replication machinery can then assemble at one or both of the forks. The 3' hydroxyls of the nicked target DNA serve as primers for DNA synthesis. Replication proceeds through the transposon sequence, generating 2 copies of the transposon DNA. Once again, the staggered attack of the target DNA results in target site duplications flanking the element.
Now, the attack that has taken place lead to the formation of target site DNA which has been duplicated. Here there is a target site DNA that has been duplicated. Okay, this target site has been duplicated and here there is a conservative mechanism where there is no duplication of the target site has taken place. Please do draw this out. Anyone has any problem, any issue, just inform me at that particular point only. Okay, Trishla, is this clear? Ankit, Heba? Okay, so I'm moving forward, just clearing all the drawings. Now moving forward.
In the process of moving, replicative transposition often rearranges the flanking chromosomal sequences. For some transpososomes, site-specific recombination occurs between the two transposons, resolving these rearrangements.
Okay, sometimes the rearrangement can also take place. Sometimes the rearrangement can also take place, leading to the formation of new variations. Sometimes rearrangements due to homologous recombination can also occur. Due to homologous recombination could occur. there is a homologous recombination that could take place. Because of this homologous recombination, they can move from one location to the other, okay, and could produce new recombinations, could occur forming new recombination. Okay, so there are new recombinations that are going to be produced. Now, moving forward,
How well do you understand the cut and paste and replicative mechanisms of transposition? In this section, you will find out
now there is a section in which you have to find out the that how well you are able to understand this particular process of transposition.
the cells of a certain plant experience broken chromosomes very frequently. In the parent plant, the chromosomes tend to break at a specific location in chromosome 3. The offspring of this plant also tend to experience broken chromosomes very frequently, but they do so at a different location in a different chromosome. Question 1. Which of the following best explains this observation?
So the first question explains to you in the form of a diagram that there are locations where the chromosomes are going to be fragmented. Now, which of the following observation clearly explains you at the best that how the chromosomes are going to be fragmented? Explain. Question number one, which of the following best explain these observation? The cells are being subjected to high level of ionizing radiation. The cells contains a transposons that moves by cut and paste mechanism. The cells contain a transposon that moves by the replicative mechanism, because they are moving from the parent plant into the daughter plant, and the sites are again being changed. Okay, but see, the number of fragments are same. The cells contain a faulty DNA polymerase. So what do you guess? The cell contain a transposon that moves by replicative mechanism. See, if it would have moved by replicative mechanism, then it would have produced more number of fragments as compared to the parental one. Firstly, also there was a single chromosome that has been fragmented, and secondly, also there has
Correct.
been a single chromosome that has been fragmented. That is why the correct answer states
Question
that
2. Which of the
no,
following
bro.
images?
The correct answer
Question
is
1.
straight that the cells contain transposon that moves by cut and paste mechanism, because the number of transposons have remained the same. That is why the mechanism followed is the cut and
Correct.
paste. Correct. Okay. You can look at the solution. The cells contain a transposon that moves by cut and paste mechanism. In the parental plant cell, the transposon is at the location in the chromosome 3, and now it has moved to the new chromosomal location. When it moves, it leaves behind the broken DNA. In the offspring of this parent, the transposon has moved to a new location. Next point.
Which of the following best explains this observation?
I've already answered this up now in the second one.
Correct.
Okay. Next, moving to the next
Question 2. Which of the following images represents a transposition intermediate during replicative transposition of a plasmid transposon to a circular bacterial chromosome?
Now try to, all the students must try to answer. Okay, Ankit, Hiba, Trishla, all the students must try to answer. Have an active participation. I will put the mark where you will say, which of the following images represents a transposition intermediate during replicative transposition? Okay, now there is a replicative transposition going on. Which of these indicate that the replicative transposition has actually taken place? Okay, replicative transposition of a plasmid DNA, plasmid transposon to a circular bacterial chromosomal DNA. So to a circular bacterial chromosomal DNA, the replicative transposition has taken place. So which of the following is correct and which of the following is wrong? Can you just tell me that how this transposition is going to take place? So see, any answers? Any answer A, B, C, D? Please try to tick the answers now. All you are all waiting for me to explain. Anybody else except Trishla? Only Trishla is taking active participation. Now see this. Okay, Ankit. Good. Now see how the transposition is going to take place. This is the plasmid DNA that is present here. This plasmid DNA contain the transposase sites which add towards its ends. Now, this is the bacterial chromosome that is present. Now this transposase has to move into the bacterial chromosome. Okay, so it will cleave its DNA from this particular site, will search for a homology, and then it will bind to it. But this is referred to as during replicative transposition. As it is a replicative transposition, so it is going to move from one location to another. So there would be not a single copy, but a double copies that might be present. Okay, so there would be two copies that will be present. One will move from this location to this, and other will remain from there. So it might be C.
Correct.
So, okay, C, in the case of C, you look here. So what were the solutions being provided by our students? When replicative transposition copies a transposon from a plasmid to a circular bacterial chromosome, an intermediate is created in which the plasmid is inserted into the bacterial chromosome. You can just look here. See this? See this? This is an intermediate that is going to be produced, and this is the DNA. And you just resolve it out. In order to get this, you get the two double stranded DNA molecules. Any doubt? Any problem? So, who gave the correct answer? Let me have a look. No one? Next, moving forward.
Replicative transposition can be used experimentally to insert desired genes into an organism. Question
Now, okay, someone has given the answer just now. Okay, you want to ask that same
Question
question?
2. Which
Okay,
of
in the question number third, there is a query by one of the student. That is why I have repeated this
the
question.
following images represents a transposition intermediate during replicative transposition of a plasmid transposon to a circular bacterial chromosome?
Now, firstly, see what word the author has used. The examiner has used a word that is referred to as replicative. Replicative transposition means from one location to another. That means the number of transposons are going to be increased. Yes, the number of transposons have been increased in this case as well as in this case. For this, you are correct. But do you know which DNA is much more larger, bacterial chromosomal DNA or the plasmid DNA? Of course, chromosomal DNA is much more larger as compared to the plasmid DNA. Here, see, the amount of the chromosomal DNA has been reduced. Can you imagine where this chromosomal DNA went? It cannot evaporate in air, na? This bacterial chromosomal DNA is much more larger as compared to the plasmid DNA. So what you find here is that in the option number C, that large amount of the chromosomal DNA of bacteria is present and a small amount of the plasmid DNA is present at one side. Okay, so this is what for what I have put this answer on C. Okay, okay, so this has been reduced. Now bacterial chromosome has been reduced. That is why I have placed the answer on C, and that is correct. Next, moving forward. We have seen this again and again. The same thing is being shown here. Okay, this has been resolved. This has been taken. Okay, now moving forward.
Replicative transposition can be used experimentally to insert desired genes into an organism. Question 3. Which of the following could cause problems with this experimental approach?
Now, transposons can be used to carry a gene to a particular location within the genome. Now, which of these could carry a problem or an error? Which of these can introduce an error in our experimentation and why? Why and how this error is going to be rectified? The replicative transposon can insert only itself once only. The replicative transposon can carry its own transposase gene. The replicative transposon will be destroyed after a single generation. Many replicative transposons insert randomly into the genome, and these transposons might disrupt an important gene. This is the most important phenomena why we cannot insert any gene within the transposons. Why transposons cannot be used as a vector for the carrier of any genetic information from one place to another? Because transposons contain randomly transposon insert randomly within the genome, and because they may insert randomly within the genome of an individual, so these may disrupt the important genes. When the important genes are being disrupted, then they could lead to the death of the cells. Please look here.
Correct.
Go with the option D. Next.
Transposition is a form of genetic recombination that moves defined genetic elements, called transposable elements or transposons, from one DNA site to another. The recombinases responsible for transposition are usually called transposases.
Okay. So transposases are the recombinases that are responsible for the transposition to take place, and those are called as transposases. Next.
Transposition can occur by either of two mechanisms.
This is just the conclusion. Just looking at the conclusion, cut and paste mechanism.
Cut and paste transposition or replicative transposition. While the outcomes of the two mechanisms are different, the mechanism of strand transfer is very similar in cut and paste transposition and replicative transposition.
See this? Repair with the help of DNA polymerase. Second, then seal with the help of ligases. Replication is going to take place.
You have completed this exercise.
Okay, this exercise has been completely over. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So any doubt with any question, anything about the transposons, you just ask me here and let us finish this particular topic here by itself. Any doubt, any problem? Is this clear to you all? Is this clear, Ankit? Is this clear, Hiba? Is this clear to the Rishla? Any doubt? No doubt. Okay. So please do practice all the questions of transposons. Okay. So we would be looking at the questions of the transposon. You just try to practice those questions. And now from Ankit, there is a query. Yes, sir. No doubt at all. Okay. Thank you. So if you didn't have any doubt, that's really good. Now, moving back to the transposable elements or the transposons. The bacterial insertional sequences, the most simplest of all the transposons, the TN10 element, the eukaryotic ACDC elements, and the viral retrotransposons. So we would be continuing our class from tomorrow only at the same sequence from the bacterial insertional sequence, IS elements. Okay. And you can just attempt all the different questions which have been asked on transposons. Just go through the lecture. If you find any problem, you just ask me up on WhatsApp, or you can always make me a call. Okay. So do not get disturbed. Do not think twice even to call me before. You can call me at any time. Okay. With regarding any query that you have. That's all for today. I'm concluding here only because this cannot be completed within half an hour or within an hour even. It requires another class. So we'll finish this off in our next lecture. That's all for today. Okay, beta. Good night. Bye bye. Tomorrow also you will have my classes only. Thank you.